I saw it when it came out.
Hmm.
This is my second viewing. You know how we were just talking about how, you change your opinion of a movie maybe when you see it the second time?
Mhm.
Did not change my opinion of it whatsoever. This is such an adequate movie.
All right.
It is like a solid 5 in every way. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good particularly. It's just it does the job. It's adequate. I don't love it. I don't hate it. Two reasons I can't quite engage with this thing, and one of them is Steve Rogers' character. So, I mean, we set him up, and the first half of the movie is good. I think that we set him up. It's not Chris Evans. It's the script. We set him up as a weak character. He's weak, he's sickly, and he just wants to join the army, right? And that's the best part of the movie to me, is because we have a character who wants something, and all that's best expressed through the Stanley Tucci character, who's the best thing in the movie. I love Stanley Tucci. I love his performances, but not because of his performance in this, but because of his function in the script, which is to articulate who Captain America is or who he's going to be.
Right.
And so he talks to him. It's like, why do you want to join? Why do you keep trying over and over to get in under different names and stuff? And it's like, that's interesting. And he says, so you want to go kill Nazis? And Captain America to be, Steve Rogers says, I don't want to kill anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great.
I don't like bullies.
I just don't like bullies. And that's great. And that's great.
Stanley Tucci's accent, I just couldn't.
Okay, I know.
His accent's fine.
But here's the problem to me.
Awful. It's the worst accent I've ever heard.
No, it's not.
Not even close.
Oh, yeah.
I think
South African.
I think this is the problem with as far as the story mechanics of it go, is that unlike Spider-Man, we give him these superpowers and then he's never tested, never fails. It's kind of the problem that they have writing Superman, is that he's such a virtuous.
Bucky dies.
I had a question about.
Oh yeah.
No, I had a question about that, John.
I mean, emotionally, he's not tested in any way.
No, but halfway through the movie, because my son and I watched both of these, and halfway through the movie, I said, not to throw you off, and I'm going to let you go after this, but I said, okay, he may be a super soldier, but who taught him how to fight? How did he learn how to fight?
Because he's been in fights.
He doesn't know how to fight.
Yeah, he's been. Yeah, that they established.
He just suddenly knows how to fight because he's strong as fuck. No.
So he's what do you call it? A Mary Sue? Is he a Mary Sue?
He's Ray in the new Star Wars, where it's like she never fucking trained.
Well, that's what they were saying.
Can fucking do it. Bullshit.
They were saying she was a Mary Sue. I don't know where that term comes from. Even
a Mary Sue is an author insert. Anyway, he's been in fights his entire life. What he didn't have is the strength and the speed to actually connect in those fights.
I don't buy it at all.
He has the instincts. What he doesn't have is the ability.
No, that's exactly what I got out of it, though.
I don't buy it at all.
No, what Tad said is right. It's just like
I just think once he gets the
it,
powers,
that's the explanation.
But that's
the most satisfying conclusion of his arc is that he gets to say, "I told you so" to all the people who doubted him, because now he's strong, and he didn't really do anything to become strong. He was just given this power.
They tried to stop. They tried to stop giving it to him. They were like, he's in too much pain. He's suffering too much, and he literally screams,
"Keep going!
Stop!"
I can take it.
Right.
Like that is doing something. He is going through the hero's journey.
But the way they filmed that was so fucking.
I don't know. He just goes out and does exactly what he said he wanted to do, and then he beats the Nazis.
But you know what? That's fine sometimes.
It's okay. That's why I said it's fine. This movie is fine.
It's completely acceptable.
Yeah.
You're second problem. Generous, John.
The second problem that I have with this movie is that absolutely everything in it looks synthetic. Like 1938 Brooklyn, 1938 Europe. None of it is convincing. They ride a wire through the mountains and they land on top of a train, and it's a big set piece. And I never felt like any of these actors were anywhere near a mountain or a train at any point.
It's all green screen, dude.
God, it's just
actually,
like
I'm gonna turn around on you in this one, and I think that this is one of the few Marvel movies, and we're just looking at this set. Marvel movies, right? The most authentic looking and most authentic feeling of any of them, because it was made in England. You know, that all New York was shot in Manchester and it shot in Wales and other areas around there. And there's something about British craftsmanship when they put it into productions. It makes everything has a nice feel and weight to it. And so I thought that in terms of,
especially the briefing room scenes.
Yeah. There was
what John's talking about is the sets that didn't make.
The thing is, there was a recent thing on Twitter where they talked about the end of the film where Steve Rogers is waking up and he's listening to the baseball game. Says you don't see in new Marvel movies the characters interacting with things around them because everyone's on a volume LED screen or something like that. They talk to each other and yell whatever and punch giant monsters. But this is a tactile film because it was the first, just phase 1 Marvel film, and so it felt more like The Rocketeer, where things were real and things were touchable.
This is the first real MCU movie.
Yeah, it is the first.
Like, you can say that the two Iron Man
was this before the first Iron Man?
No, because they don't count.
No, that was before. That was pre.
That was out yet.
Yeah.
That's not MCU. Kevin Feige.
Oh, that's why it's better though. Then that's why it's better then. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this announces that he's the first Avenger, so you could see them sort of laying the track.
Oh no, yeah, dude.
That track was
a huge
late.
scaffold above the floor, ready to go.
They bring in the Tesseract. They bring in Nick Fury. Like they were.
Yeah. Also, the cutscene at the very end of the credits is actually just a preview for the Avengers movie.
They hadn't figured out the code part.
They haven't figured out the code yet, so it's just like a preview of the Avengers. That's actually kind of nice. So, and the thing is, this was before
everybody's accent.
Tommy Lee Jones is great in this movie.
Who?
Tommy Lee Jones is great in this movie.
Yes, he is.
No, Tommy Lee Jones is not great in this movie. Tommy Lee Jones is doing what he does best. And he's
Tommy Lee Jones. That's why you hire him.
But he's half wondering why the fuck am I in this movie? I think he's pissed.
No, he's not. You know what he's thinking about is how many horses he can buy with his.
No, he's saying to himself, "I'm pissed in this movie, and I'm going to do me times 12 to shut everyone fucking down."
He brought exactly what we needed him to bring.
There was nothing.
He's not mad.
Tommy Jones
Again, I think he's enjoying the shit out of himself.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's thinking like I got this ranch and I'm shooting movies and shit on it, and I need more horses.
He's doing like an imitation
this is gonna buy
of himself
so
in
many
other
horses.
movies.
Well,
yeah, he's doing the Harrison Ford.
Well,
Fugitive.
Exactly. He's doing the Fugitive, but like too aware.
He's doing the Fugitive as a guest star on Saturday Night Live.
Also, hold on, didn't he win an Oscar for the Fugitive?
Yes.
Yeah. He won Best
because he
Supporting
wasn't self-referential. In this, he is. That's what Jim's saying. Jim is saying he's too aware of it, and that's true.
Oh no, I don't know how much of this is you bringing it in or it actually being there.
Yeah, no,
or casting.
Again, I think he's enjoying.
People
the shit
cast
out
for
of himself.
type all the time.
I think I'm on your side on that, Scott. It's like it's Tommy Lee Jones being Tommy Lee Jones, and we're mad because we've seen him do it before.
Yeah.
Oh
well,
no. Tommy.
No, let me go back to something that Jared said earlier.
He's doing that thing everyone likes about.
Jared wants to articulate something about the accents.
He's like fucking John Wayne in every John.
There you go. That's sometimes you need that, right? You need to have John Wayne.
Thank you, Jim.
The man who shot Liberty Valance. You had to have him in there, right?
Yeah, but Liberty Valance is a good movie.
Okay, Jim, let's hear it.
A good movie.
Come on, man.
All right, you just put several quarters on the table here. It's all
sort of like when I think somebody had the right idea, though. There is a Jones in this movie who's really good, and that's Toby Jones.
Toby Jones is good in everything.
Yes,
he's good at everything.
His accent was
for the audience
too.
and me. Who's that?
Hold on.
Terrible accent.
Okay, let me freeze for a second. I want to talk about
like
Zora, the scientist.
Dr. Zola, yeah. But I want to talk about what Jared's talking about. Accent.
Another terrible accent.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I actually wrote this up. I'm not going to read it out loud. This is real Nazis versus cartoon Nazis. I'll send it to you guys later because the thing is, these guys are all cartoon Nazis.
I read it. It's bad.
Oh, shut up.
Oh.
Anyway, but the thing is, the accents are a signifier. You remember film school? Signifiers in artifacts?
Yes.
Are you having German characters in a film like this with loopy German accents means that they are cartoon Nazis. It's simply it's how you code it in. Notice that no one had a funny German accent in Conspiracy or Valkyrie.
Okay.
Except for the two actual Germans.
You can have Germans playing cartoon Nazis. Quentin Tarantino's movie is a good example.
He specifically calls that out as being.
I specifically call that out. Actually, yes. It inverts the cartoon Nazi idea.
Yeah.
But either way, that the point is
because it centers the Holocaust. I read your shit. It centers the Holocaust as being the main thing about Nazis in that. So he has actual Germans playing cartoon Nazis.
Actually, I'll read.
So the distinction is that we don't talk about the Holocaust in Captain America.
Yeah, I'm going to actually read the only.
They're also not Nazis. They stopped being Nazis very early on.
They're Hail Hydra.
Right.
I'm gonna read this. Hold on. I'm gonna read the only
In
paragraph
Hook
that
and
matters.
Zeros, you have
Listen. I'm not actually
Germans
saying anything
playing
about.
Nazis.
I'm not actually calling them cartoon. I mean, cartoon Nazis is a different subject to tackle. In addition to shitty accents.
Actually, I'm not
really bad accents.
Okay.
Just
Jared,
really sound like a German person.
Jared, I'm going to read this paragraph, and it's pointed to you because you're a film major and you know what I'm talking about here. These signifiers, the thing we'll talk about, cartoon Nazis, are popular in media because they decouple the depiction of Nazis from actual history. Making a movie with Nazis as enemies, if they are depicted historically, inevitably point to the atrocities they committed. The Holocaust was such a shattering, cruel act of genocide that to this day, there were people who can't accept it over what happened. There are people who deny it, right? It's only natural that movie producers would want to not have their audiences confront such an existential event. So for the sake of comfort and box office, the cartoon Nazi was invented. The flavor of antagonists can go as far as they want, dressed in the colors of a frightening enemy, but can also not be taken too seriously. And that's what a cartoon Nazi is. They're a pretend Nazi to make the audience feel better about themselves by watching this.
So Indiana Jones.
There's a list. I won't go into it. But Kelly's Heroes,
picked one of the three.
Mr. Limpet, Indiana Jones, The Rocketeer, Iron Sky was the best, and this movie.
Iron Sky rules.
That
movie fucking rules.
Iron Sky succeeds because
anyway. One of the reasons I like this film and I picked it is because, first of all, I'm the guy who
also she-wolf of the SS
goes out and tries.
I guess I go back to I don't care. I don't mind cartoon Nazis. I just want their accents to be good.
Well, I could give you
Hugo Weaving's accent's great. Fuck you.
Yeah,
it's okay. It falters though. Mm-hmm. When he gets too excited, it doesn't. He loses it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just this was picked for one thing, just because we haven't done any comic book movies at all. These are the first two we've ever done, really.
That's because they all suck.
And this was the first one, the first MCU movie, and so this is what it was like before diminished returns and moral rot and it's circling the drain happened.
I do like that
coming out fresh.
Fucking Feige is credited as PGA. It's Kevin Feige PGA. You got to get that. You got to get that he's in the Producers Guild.
Yeah, of course.
It's okay, whatever, man. You know who doesn't do that? Any other producer.
Mm-hmm. Now they all do it, but back then it was pretty rare. Yeah.
Is it Feige? Everybody says Feige incorrectly.
Feige is what I've heard, so I don't.
Everybody calls him Feige, but
Feige.
I always in my head I always said Feig. I never heard anybody say it out loud.
Well, Chris has been real quiet.
Come on, Chris.
I'm letting you heads just go.
You let us wear ourselves out, right?
I already know what Chris is going to say. Chris loves this movie. Go, Chris.
Go, Chris.
Here's the problem. I cannot be objective about this movie or any of the other Captain America movies. I would lump in the other Avengers movies and the three Captain America movies with Captain America in the title. Captain America was the only comic book that I ever gave a shit about as a little kid.
Wow.
Somebody handed me back in, I don't even remember when, these old Captain America comics that Jack Kirby did in the Silver Age with Red Skull.
Damn.
And I was instantly
during the 60s because they're 12 cents a piece.
And
they went to 14.
So just seeing any of this on screen was a thrill for me. And then it's so weird because I think that some of you guys that know me, I'm not a rah-rah America guy.
No, you're not.
But there's something about this character, both in the comics and this movie, that it's like this sort of idealized, he's just, to his core, he's a good guy. There is no ulterior motive. There is no malice. There is no cynicism. He's just a good guy trying to do the right thing.
But can I now?
I think that Chris Evans nails that. I think the supporting cast is great. All the character actors we haven't even talked about, his buddies that all go with him.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the there's a great bunch of little character actors.
I picked literally one other screenshot from this movie, and it's fucking this.
Yes.
These dudes fucking rule.
Guys are great.
The guy switched to German and he was going to help
his crew.
So what I will say is I think this is the weakest of the Captain America movies. Captain America Winter Soldier is my favorite for all the things that Scott has said endlessly in the chat. I agree with 100%.
Yeah.
But also to see this as the Marvel, as the first step, the thing of the MCU, I believe that the first half is stronger than the second half. I think the second half starts to kind of peter out a little bit. They haven't really nailed the formula yet of like how to wrap these things up, and then you get like the coda and then the other coda.
Well, thank God, actually, but yes.
Now, but just to see that whatever they were coming up with, and Sandy and I would talk, when we were well into the MCU, and she's a fan of these movies too. It's like, is there just Kevin Feige at a whiteboard, like figuring out how to connect all these fucking movies together?
There's a room full of people doing this.
It's not a whiteboard. It's a bunch of push pins.
And it's not one guy
with red yarn in between them.
Yeah,
exactly. You objectively look back at the 28 movies that they made over 14 years.
There was 18 in the core, but there's 20. There's 28 now.
Jared, I'm never going to convince
I've
you.
Seen exactly like 7.
But for the achievement of most of them being, if not great, at least pretty good, and having all these story arcs connect in a way that didn't feel forced, and still
I don't know if any of them are great. Thor
Ragnarok is great.
No,
there are good ones, and then there are mediocre ones, and then there are very bad ones. Like I'm thinking
Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is 90% of a fucking amazing movie.
Yeah,
and the tone,
the meta story of the entire thing is what you're talking about, and it's pretty amazing accomplishment.
To me, the best.
No one's ever done this before.
No one's ever done it before. Exactly.
That's true.
DC still can't figure out how to fucking do this.
No shit.
Universal didn't make it. Universal didn't make it through one movie. Universal didn't make it through one movie. They fucked up the Mummy so bad.
I give credit to Jon Favreau for making the first Iron Man, because he kind of figured out, like, you kind of got to, this is the tone we want to hit. Him and Dylan.
I just think John
that movie nails the tone.
A good filmmaker, so he just knows.
Johnston. You got
to give it to Robert Downey Jr. for that too.
Sure.
Yeah, he put a lot into it.
I said Downey, but then Johnston does this.
Yeah,
and he basically.
Well, they brought him in because he was a steady hand with effects movies.
He remakes the fucking Rocketeer on many levels, but then. He Who Shall Not Be Named goes and makes the first Avengers movie, which manages to cram all those, by that point, like at least B or A-list actors, and it did not feel incoherent.
Yeah.
And
the only Avengers movie I've seen.
Yeah. Well, that was also Kevin, whatever his name is.
But it's Joss Whedon, I think, gets a fair amount of credit for that thing being.
He made him funny. He actually put a lot of jokes in them. That's one thing that's kind of cool. Him and the Russo brothers, man.
Well, the Russo brothers. So the Russo brothers.
But Joss Whedon is a shitty comedian.
Oh yeah, he is.
You know who's a good comedian? Is Taika Waititi.
Yes, it was.
Which is why Ragnarok is the best.
That's why it's the goddamn that's the most watchable film.
Joss Whedon can go fucking kick rocks, dude.
Okay, I have watched.
Waititi is.
Wow, this is. I didn't know it was so controversial.
I've watched
the franchise. The MCU
by far the most out of any.
The MCU as a franchise is not what it was. Like, I think after Endgame, it petered off pretty quick. I like
TV shows. The TV shows are better than
Endgame was like it literally was the Endgame, right?
The best Avengers movies. The best Avengers movie ever is Infinity War, and the second best is Endgame.
And then they finished the whole idea, and then they were done. And now they're everything else.
Yeah, they are. It's the Endgame. It was done.
I liked Black Widow, and I liked. I like
Black Widow. I watched a couple days ago. It was just.
It's not what it was. It's spread too thin. Something's lost.
Which one? I
didn't want to go see the fucking Quantumania after what John said.
No, I don't want to see it either, actually.
And again, you watch this movie and there's just something about people on sets and physical objects.
That's the thing about this. This is before the volumes took over.
I don't want to see
it was all green screen.
I don't know. I think the first Doctor Strange. Even up.
But they were pushing it. All right, hold on. We're running. We're rolling. I want to mention one.
I love this movie.
This is us having a referendum on Marvel movies.
That's exactly why we're watching
this, motherfucker.
Let me say one thing about this film that I watched it this week and I discovered something completely new about it that I had not seen. I've seen this film maybe a dozen times. I swear to God. But okay, behind me. No, I know, but it's always on. I just watch it. It's whatever.
Do you notice that they murder all the Nazis?
No,
and
that's the thing
separate
I'm saying.
themselves entirely from what you're talking about.
No, the Nazis come in. They said, you're Red Skull, you're fucking up, and he wipes them all out. This is a question for you. What happens next?
What do you mean?
What happens next?
There's a half an hour.
An alternate universe, an alternate history starts.
Well, if it's a Marvel movie, there's a 45-minute CGI battle.
No. What happens?
Which they don't do in this.
What happens then is that Hydra takes over World War II for the Nazis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yes.
the World War II ends not when Hitler capitulates, so they'd run over Berlin, but when Red Skull dies. So I never realized that the thing is I loved if there was a scene where the Allies are like rolling into into Belgium, and the Germans are like, "You got it, man. I ain't playing anymore," and they just go home because it was Hydra versus everybody. Right. So the alternative universe, I never realized this actually happened. It wasn't.
There's no Normandy in this universe.
There's no exactly. It's just the Allies versus Hydra. It's
There's
weird.
no Battle of the Bulge.
My favorite.
No, there's no battle. There's no
Battle of the Bulge. It's just
there's nothing after what happens in the plane.
In fact, they say that.
The end of World War II.
Remember the map says that's Berlin on the map. The Red Skull wiped out Berlin.
I think the best sequence in this movie is
the Red Army.
The best sequence in this movie is when he first comes right out of the experiment, and that guy steals the one little vial of serum,
and he chases him through the streets.
That whole chase sequence is the best part of this entire movie.
It's sorry really all the good. Time. It's the best. Sorry.
Because it doesn't stop.
When he fucks up and he runs through the window of that.
He doesn't stop. He never stops.
No, he doesn't.
So well filmed.
And he's barefoot. He's just running down the street.
Wearing high waters. And
he only runs down. He dives into the water and follows that fucking thing. Like,
Jared,
is the best sequence in the
It is. It's a great kickoff.
Disagree with you when you're being mostly right, but he does stop because he fucking falls into the window of that dress shop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
Slowly climbs out.
That's like a guy who doesn't know how strong he is. Yes.
Yeah. That was great because he was just trying to take a corner and he was going too fast.
Right, because he doesn't. He's like a dog when
which
you
is a nice
dog
little
running around the corner.
That's the best sequence in the whole movie.
And also the pit where the part where he throws the kid in the water and he's like, "Oh my god." He says, "That's okay, I can swim. Go get him."
Yeah, go get him.
Yeah, that's great.
I think the art direction in this movie, the USO stuff,
it felt nice, didn't it?
The art direction in this movie is chef's kiss as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, out of all the, how it's becoming like I don't know, in the last 5 years are like the Chris's. Who's your favorite Chris? Okay, well, Chris Evans is my absolute least motherfucking favorite Chris.
I don't know why you hate him so much. I thought he was fine. I think he's good in the part.
Well, John, you understand how bad Henry Cavill is with a fucking piece of cardboard?
That is right.
I feel like Chris Evans is like just a fraction off of that. So this guy he has no personality. He can't. That's why maybe he's perfect for Captain America, because Captain America has no fucking personality, dude. What the fuck?
This guy trying to do the right thing.
I think that.
I mean, it is a problem.
Boring is that?
I think the most interesting Marvel characters are Spider-Man, and then if you look at Spider-Man's origin story, he's a dick. He's a fucking dick once he gets his powers.
You know the thing about Spider-Man, and we was on talking about everything. We can talk about this.
Murdered. He's a huge dick.
Right.
No,
he spends the rest of his life trying to make up for that.
He's like fucking
Iron Man. I was going to say it's the second most interesting Marvel character.
Well, Iron Man is a complete dick across the board, no matter what. But he's interesting.
This guy's just a good guy, and then he gets superpowers, and he's still a good guy, and that's not inherently interesting.
Iron Man's such a dick.
But I also just think but it goes beyond this. It goes beyond this. Every single time I see Chris Evans in a movie, in fucking Knives Out, I was like, fuck this fucking guy. I fucking hate this guy.
More yelling, exactly. No, if I get this is the whole beer thing. I'd have a beer with any of these guys. I'd have a beer. Hold on,
Chris Evans.
Who would you rather?
Hold on, I got the floor.
That's what I want to know.
If I had a beer with any of these guys, I have a beer with Steve Rogers, because I know he could drive me home afterwards.
Fuck you, Chris Evans. Chris Evans is like,
have a beer with anyone here would be Agent Carter.
Oh,
you guys
Hello.
Chris Evans did a movie where he's like Chris Evans did a movie where he's like the whole movie is him like walking home with a girl talking to her. It's kind of like his fucking before fucking sunrise. Like he was trying to fucking do like a and it's so terrible because he's such a shitty fucking presence and a shitty actor. It's so fucking bad. And he's walking. He's walking. I think he like wrote it and directed it and stars in it. And he's like walking with like a really good actress, and they're like talking. He's trying to romance her, and it's so fucking awful.
What's it called?
I'll find it for you.
Okay.
It's really fucking bad. He's just the worst actor maybe ever. Like he's not worse than.
Don't mince words, Jared.
He's really bad. He's really bad.
All right. Anyway. All right, we lost somebody here.
I think it. I don't think it's perfect. I think it sort of too many notes at the end. It's trying to figure out I'm
gonna find the
formula yet, but I enjoy the shit out of this movie.
I liked it too. That's why I recommended it because.
What did Jim think of this movie?
Jim hated it.
He hated it.
It typifies all of these movies in that they're always about, even like the 5th remake of Spider-Man, it's always about the fucking origin story. I don't care how they originated. Just give me a fucking story that I can follow.
And I will actually agree with you, Jim. This is not an immediate arrest. This is actually an origin story, and those are kind of all alike. That's a problem.
They are.
Yeah, but honestly, those are some of my favorites.
They are. Well, it depends on the origin story.
This one, Spider-Man,
it doesn't get any more interesting than the origin story in this case.
Let me back up to what you're talking about. Spider-Man.
Bullshit.
Him being a kind of likable.
No. Hold on. I want to address what John just said.
Which
he
is?
said it doesn't get any more interesting than the origin story in this case. Absolute fucking bullshit, because the second Captain America movie is so much better.
Well, I'm just talking within the universe of this movie.
Yeah. As origin stories go, it's actually one of the better ones. But the second movie's in media arrest, so you're going, bang. That's what happens. I love it.
And I liked him being frustrated after he got his powers that they put him in these USO shows and stuff. That was kind of fun.
That whole bit is so fucking good.
It is. It's good. It's great. All right. Well, we're going nowhere in this one. So let's go with the cards on this. I
love it.
Great. It's perfectly fine.
It's perfectly good. All right.
Yep.
There we go. Oh, wow. Nice spread there, guys.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you for bearing with me on this one. I really appreciate it.